Welcome back, everyone, to the Alternate Reality Archives. This is where the fabric of reality frays just enough for us to peer through the cracks and give us answers that we didn't think we didn't get the answers to. I'm Paranormal with Paul J.K. Ray, and I've got two chilling mysteries, basically, that blur the lines of memory, identity, and time itself. So, first things first, imagine a version of the British monarchy or the royal family where Princess Diana never passed away in 1997 from that car accident, where King Charles III is not a king, basically, and that people remember Prince William's reign become king starting in 2016, I believe, if I remember it correctly. And also, what about the voices of some of the most famous and powerful people in Hollywood, like Will Smith? What if something's like change their voice in this reality? That is what I'm going to be talking about tonight on Alternate Reality Archives. So hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, share, turn the notification bell on, all that good stuff. So basically, first thing first, I'm going to be talking about this alternate reality thing to do with the monarchy or royal family. So basically, the British monarchy is often viewed as basically a pillar of history that's unchanging because you either have a queen or a king, constant decades of upheaval. But basically, something happened in 1997 and that changed a lot of people in a way that shook us basically. In Paris, France, Princess Diana lost her life tragically in a car accident. Her husband Charles is now king all these years later because of obviously Queen Elizabeth II passing away, and their son William, basically people remember him wearing the king's crown years before. So is it like I said, this is why I've done it on alternate reality, because it is like an alternate reality where people are remembering all this. So going back to Diana or Lady Diana Spencer, um she was one of the most basically loved characters in all of the royal family at the time. You couldn't basically she was a people's princess for a reason. Everyone loved her, and yeah, she might have had her faults behind closed doors with the way she handled stuff with regarding her marriage and that and everything. But anything else, she was like she seemed so approachable. Everyone said everyone had a laugh with her. Even John Travolta, I believe, shared a dance with her at the White House. Um, you know what I mean? It's kind of nuts. But like I said, something happened in 1997 that basically changed the royal family's history. In Paris, in a night in Paris, and this one night basically, um, she basically passed away on the 31st of August. Actually, did we? She like 1997. She was trying to get through a tunnel in Paris, and the car basically, we know what happened, but basically the car um took her life basically because of the accident. But going back, people are remembering that she survived the crash, and they've seen her alive and well into the millennium and beyond. Some remember interviews where she spoke openly about the monarchy and her struggles with it, which basically I think I remember her doing that before she passed away. Even though I'd born in 94, I remember when Diana like researching it like years after she passed in school, and I saw headlines before talking about her own struggles with the monarchy. There's other people that recall charity events that she attended, but there's no official record that she was there. There's also urban legends of unreleased footage and photos that have vanished without explanation. So, if Diana did survive, I'm just saying it did, because I'm not being rude. I'm on the thing where she passed away. I'm be honest, she passed away. But if she did survive, would it basically causing upheaval in the royal family? Would basically everything we know about the royal family come crashing down? You know what I mean? Would it be like, oh shit, like a big news scoop, basically? You know what I mean? So now we're gonna be. So now I'm gonna leave that there on a cliffhanger for you. Now we're gonna go to her son, Prince William. Basically, people remember seeing footage on the news stories and clips. Even people, they remember William attending events where he was crowned king as early as 2016. So these memories include detailed descriptions of his coronation, the crowds, the political controversies that never actually unfolded in our timeline whatsoever. But some recall and insist that this timeline that William was king in made bold moves early in his reign, like reshaping the monarchy in unexpected ways. So, could these detailed memories be coming in from a timeline split of another universe and coming into ours? Or are there are they signs that the parallel realities or parallel universes are actually a thing and we're getting bled through into our universe? Kind of crazy. Now we talk about the mother, we talk about the son, and let's talk about the father. King Charlie, or King Charles the Third, as we call him now, but when Diana passed, it was Prince Charles. But some people, right? Some people remember that he's never ruled at all of us, even though he's in charge. He's in like reign now. But people remember a sudden abdication, a scandal, or even an hidden death before his coronation. and I think his missing monarch theory suggests that there was like ample reports that basically reference official statements and press releases. But what I always remember, hold on 2 seconds. I'm back, everyone. Sorry about that. I was just talking and I didn't want to, But yeah, I'm back to Charlie. If he was written now, but if I remember correctly, there's a book, I believe. It's technically a book, but it's a Nostradamus' prophecies, I believe. I think people are reading that and saying that Charlie would be abdicated from that, and it's not happened. The only thing that we know about Charlie at the minute is that he's got the sea. So we'll go away and see. No offense and no pun intended. But yeah, we go away and but it's kind of crazy, Now, adding weight to these alternate memories, I've been checking, and a lot of people are saying that there's still caught inconsistencies around royal events. basically people have noted glitches in old news footage, missing audio for like clips during key speeches, edits that don't align with the broadcasting standards. So basically, people remember some documentary films about the royals that have been found to include segments with subtle visual artifacts like glitches, frame skips, distorted sound. And some people think that they're rewriting our timeline. I mean, but people think that it could also be technical faults. So I'll come back to that in a minute, like the royal family. But let me know what you think at the moment, what you're thinking. Have we got a thing that have you got like you got how can I put it? Have you got are you in the timeline that nothing's happening and everything's going according to plan, or do you remember something differently with the monarchy? Like Diana being alive, or Charlie not ever being king, or William being king, or Harry being king. Let me know. No. I'd love to hear from you guys, you know. Now, shifting from the royal bloodlines to the very poor voices that shape our perceptions, like public figures like celebrities, politicians, leaders. Sometimes we don't look at them like we don't look at their voices because we like, well, we know they have that voice straight away. But some people think that people's voices have been altered. Case in point, Adele, the London singer Adele. Remember, she has that distinct British accent and that lower vocal range and particular emotional warmth that she had during her early interviews. Well, fast forward a decade, and many fans think that she's undergone a notable change. Her voice is higher, pitched, clearer, and her accent has nearly gone. Some people think it's because she's living in America and that, but some people think that the timing and nature of her changes in her accent as basically they think that she's been replaced by a copy of a person, and that's what's going on. Well, those three people are also on the same people that said that a vocal transformation has happened to a certain Will Smith. Because in his early public appearances, he had a distinct vocal style. He was energetic, colloquial, unmistakably youthful. Like, you could tell. But in the recent years, people have said that his voice has become deeper, slower, and it's like his voice is like robotic, or it's rehearsing stuff in a way that comes over all the time. And some think it's the typical aging process of getting older. But people also think that he's had a profound shift in his personality and emotional energy, like case in point, what happened when he slapped Chris Rock. Still can't believe that, but moving on. These dramatic changes, basically, they're saying, coincide with controversies and public statements that seem so out of sync with his earlier persona. So could we be seeing another Will Smith from another reality, or what? It's kind of crazy to think. So one might explain these baffling vocal shifts, like with Adele and Will Smith and some other people that I ain't mentioned, and that timeline overlap, like alternate versions of public figures split between realities and their voice blending or replacing one another at different times. Genetic or digital repetition or replication. Basically, advanced cloning or AI could create near identical copies with imperfect vocal mimicry. Or quantum echoes, that basically our consciousness might resonate with multiple versions of ourselves, and sometimes them voices flee through into us now in our actual body. So, think about it this way. Those vocal changes that I've been going on about coincide with signs of celebrity doppelgangers or body doubles, and individuals that look like the star, act like the star, but they're not the star. They've got differences, like stunt doubles, basically. So there's numerous reports of mismatched voice samples. There's unexplained inconsistencies at live events, uncanny off moments that suggest that it's more than acting and fatigue. So Could these doubles be evidence that public figures get swapped out and that we're seeing actual things? Do you think about it, like people saying he's got older, but there's that controversy regarding Joe Biden, that he's not the same Joe Biden from years back. So what's going on really, everyone? So fans and followers experience these shifts deeply because obviously many people think that they get betrayed because of someone's voice changing or a certain, like, it's kind of crazy to think, but it sparks debates online and then it gets pushed out and then people lose focus and it's like a messy lasagna basically. You know what I mean? It's a nice lasagna when you start looking at it all, but it's messy once you get into like ingredients. So I've looked at theories on Reddit, and a certain few Reddit users have basically caught my eye when I've looked at these topics like the royal stuff and the voices. Certain, and I'll give you some examples of what they've said. A Reddit user by the name of @TimeSlipWatcher23 said about William that he distinctively remembers watching a live broadcast of Prince William's coronation back in 2016. The ceremony was extravagant, the crowd was huge, and the atmosphere was electric. But when they've tried to find any footage recently, nothing exists, like it never happened in this timeline, and they don't know why. Then, at Royal Reality Check, that I'm also expressed skepticism about Diana. By going, at first, I thought all these royal timeline theories were just internet nonsense. But the glitches in old news clips and missing segments make me wonder if there's something more. My grandmother insists she saw Diana on TV long after 1997, and that's something that doesn't make sense. Now, Voice Shifted said on the Vial of Celebrity Voices now, I used to watch every Will Smith interview growing up because I loved the guy. And the change in his voice over the years, it jars me to the core. It's not just aging, it's just like listening to two different people. It's unsettling, but I can't shake the feeling that something deeper is going on. Then, at Parallel Memories chimed in with the celebrity doubles theory, and said, I swear I saw two different versions of Miley Cyrus in the same city last year. They looked almost identical, but acted differently, sounded slightly off, so could this be a timeline merge or a double reality? And then the last three are about other things now. Right, at Echo Hunter goes, I've been taking voice samples of several public figures over the last decade, and the shifts don't always match natural aging or voice acting or voice training. There are sudden jumps and tonal changes that suggest something else, perhaps different versions replacing one another across realities. And now, this one is a skeptic because of the name @skeptic_42 going, most of this sounds like confirmation bias or false memories. People want mystery, so they find it where it doesn't exist. But I admit the media glitches are strange. And the last one at Quantum Dreamer goes, what if our consciousness occasionally opts between timelines, bringing back fragmented memories? Maybe the shifts in royal history and celebrity voices are side effects of a fractured multiverse we're only beginning to glimpse at. So it looks like Reddit has been a lively place for people because they've been sharing their thoughts like that on there. But what could cause these memories? So I've been looking at it, and a couple of things have come up. CERN and particle colliders. For years, people have said, and theorists have said that CERN's a large hadron collider as potential catalysts for reality fractures. And colossal energy experiments might trigger timeline shifts or brief overlaps with parallel worlds. And then there's also quantum entanglement and multiverse interaction, like quantum physics hints at infinite realities existing simultaneously. Our consciousness might occasionally sync with alternate selves, causing memory bleed through or identity confusion. Then the mass trauma one that I've thought of, and people I've said, and I've been looking at it, and people say that large-scale traumatic events may destabilize collective memory and cause us to think differently of situations. And then conspiracy theorists have come out and said that about the government time travel experiments and all the dimensional hopping projects suggest that there's deliberate manipulation on their part. So I leave it to you what you think on what's causing these memories and everything. So, but remember, reality is changing and more fragile than we ever dare to admit. What does it mean for who we truly are? If you've ever experienced memories that don't line up, or noticed voices or heard voices that don't sound right, or caught glimpses of a royal history or anything that seems off, you're not alone. Remember that. Please share your stories in the comments because I'd love to hear your stories. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss a dive into the unknown with me, Paranormal Reports. Until next time, I should say, stay curious and always question what you think you know. Because remember, there's more than one answer. Take care, everyone.